Bum, bum, bum. What's up? What's up? Had to do a little redo on the intro there. Why is this thing blue? I didn't want it to be blue. Don't like that either. Oh, that one works. It's got blue everywhere. Fireworks. No, that'll work. What's up? What's up? What's up? What we got here already? Somebody already messaged. Oh, Ziggy's in the house. What's up, Ziggy? How are you, man? I ain't doing nothing but listing some cards. Listing some cards, shipping some stuff, and watching Sunday Night Football. I gotta check my fantasy league, see how I'm doing. Ooh, man. This is not good. Not looking good. Not looking good. Ziggy, if you're still on, man, I know you have been wanting to jump on for a while. Happy to send you a link if you want to chat, but just let me know. But we are just listing some cards on eBay. Doing some baseball. Believe it or not, I have baseball actually. I need to finish listing. I got some. I got this Brandon Ayuk little patch, Star Search. Got this Obsidian, Adrian Peterson, numbered to 75. Mason Jones, 76ers rookie card auto from Excalibur. Rookie in 2021. I don't even know if he's still around. And then just some Kobe base that I'll be putting up. My goal is to try to do at least about 10 cards a day. That's kind of been 2018, 19 hoops. Been trying to do about 10 cards a day, roughly. That's kind of the goal. If I can get 10 cards a day, I feel like the algorithm will be nice to me. Oh man, this is a pretty decent card. Couple dollars, not too bad. So yeah, I feel like if I put like 10 cards a day, the algorithm will like me, and we might be able to do something. Might be able to do a little something. But yeah, so far it's been not too bad. At one point, I had about 100 cards listed when I first kind of started listing stuff. I had about 100 cards listed, and then I was selling through maybe like one or two a day, like 2 or 3 a day, roughly. So then I figured, okay, well, if I do 200 cards, should be more, right? Should be about 5 or 6. Sure enough, I got 200 cards listed, and it was about 5 or 6 a day, roughly, what I was selling through. So I was like, all right, well, this is interesting. So as long as the math keeps mathing, I'm gonna keep listing. So now I'm at about 300, and as long as I can get to, if I can get to like 10 or 15 cards a day, like moving, which is probably gonna take me to have close to 500 cards listed, it'd be kind of cool. I think, make a few dollars. Now, what screwed me today, I got screwed today. I didn't get screwed, but These like when I ship out my plain white envelopes, I don't ship them in plain white envelopes. I put them in a top loader. I put them in a sleeve. I put the top loader in a sleeve, and then I put them in these old CD mailers. I used to do these longer mailers. They were like 6x9, so they were probably about that long. I used to do them in those mailers, and then I realized that the mailer by itself weighs about 2 ounces, like a little over 2 ounces. With the card in the top loader in it, it's almost 3 ounces. And with USPS, you have to round up to the nearest ounce. So it ends up being 3 ounces to ship in plain white in a 6x9, hard mailer. Not hard, but like, cardboard mailer. So what I started doing was I was like, all right, well, CDs are smaller. Let me see what I can pull out. And these labels are 4x6. So I went and looked at CD mailers, and sure enough, they still made them. And so I started sending them out in these. Now the mailer by itself is only like an ounce, like barely an ounce. So with a card in it, it's barely over 2 ounces. Like it's like 2.1 ounce. I mean, I probably could set it at no, sorry, it's like an ounce and some change. So it's not even 2 ounces. So I could probably set it at 2 ounces and be good. And it's been so good so far. And 2 ounces on that mailer is like 97 cents. And I list everything at 99 cents. So it works pretty good. All right, Kenny, what's up, man? Do I like tapes and CDs? I think I know where you're going with that one. I'm not gonna fall for it. Tapes and CDs. CDs nuts. Do I have any suggestions for my 11-year-old? He wants to start collecting football cards. Keyword there being collecting. If that's what he's really looking to do, then have him collect what he likes. If he's got a team that he roots for, I personally am a huge Rockets fan. So I like to PC for my personal collection, my Rockets. So, I follow them. I follow their draft picks. I've been a fan for a very long time. So I have some very old players. Olajuwon is my favorite player of all time. And then I love a lot of the Rockets that brought us championships. So that there's a championship team there that I like to collect as well, players from that. So that's kind of where I start my collection. If he's a football guy, then he obviously has a football team. To pick a good team. If he's already rooting for a team, that's great. If he likes a certain position, then that's great. If he likes quarterbacks, if I personally, some of my favorite players were defensive players. Just start with what you like and what you would like to have. Because I guarantee you, if you start from that standpoint, the collecting aspect becomes very fun. And you allow that no matter what player you pick, whether it be a Tom Brady, for example, who's the GOAT, there's a price point everywhere for Tom Brady where you can buy Tom Brady stuff. You can go to a card show and pick up Tom Brady cards for $1, $1 or $2. So, he's always going to have something to buy and to pick up if you take him to card shows, especially if he's 11 years old. And then as he grows into the hobby, there's obviously, bigger dollar stuff that he can always aspire to have and shoot for. So yeah, I mean, that's the best way that I would suggest, because I've gotten that question before a bunch of times from people. It's like, hey, how do I like I kind of like it. Like, how do I get started? It's kind of intimidating. And you just start with what you like, start with what you like. Start with doing that. Here's it down. Nah, see, yeah. Yeah, but again, Kenny, that's my point, right? My point is that for every player, there's always something to collect, unless it's just one of these like really obscure players, like if you're, you know, if you're into like I don't know, just an oddball player that didn't really get much playing time or things like that. I mean, there's no rules for what to pick to collect, right? I mean, I know a guy that's a big Dat Win collector, believe it or not, and there's some Dat Win cards out there. So no, Jay, don't, yeah, for sure, don't box chase, bro. Box chasing is cool, man. I mean, like again, for me, and kind of just back to my collecting. For me, box chasing has been fun for the last 3 or 4 years for me specifically, and the only reason why it's been fun for me is because my Rockets have had a top 5 pick in every draft for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and we've picked some phenomenal picks. So in turn, we've had some really good rookies. And so because of that, my rookie card collecting over the last couple of years has been really fun in terms of like going down to a Walmart, picking up a box, cracking it open, and then like I out of every box I've been bagging like 1 or 2 or 3, sometimes even some really good parallels of Houston Rockets rookies. So I don't, you know what I mean? For me, that's what's most important is collecting what you like, and because otherwise, then you might as well just go to Vegas. You know what I mean? Like if all you want to do is buy a box and hope to hit something that you can make money off of, well, then just go to Vegas, put it on black. You got a better shot. It's 50-50 shot if you put it on, go to Vegas and put it on black. The idea of gambling on boxes has never been a driver for me. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how the things goes. I don't collect anything right now. Either just watch some videos on people opening cards. Yeah, that's cool too. Listen, I catch a lot of shit because I still like to open retail boxes, and I mean I get kicked in the teeth on those more often than not. Occasionally I'll hit something cool, but for the most part, I just end up with a lot of bulk that I end up bagging up in little team bags and giving them away to the kids at the schools and stuff. So, it's a good way to get into it. If you don't really have anything that you're shooting for, then pick a sport and go pick up a box. I mean, it's picking up a box of hoops if you're into basketball, that's really cheap point of entry. Picking up a box of Score if you're into football, again, cheap point of entry. And then just retail stuff, that's for an 11-year-old kid, it's fun to rip. I mean, my boys are into wrestling, so I pick up, we've picked up a couple boxes before, and my son, when he hits his favorite wrestler, he goes batshit crazy, even though it's a 45-cent base card. It's just he hits something that he thinks is dope. So it's just kind of one of those things, man. It's fun if you want to look at it that way, but man, especially for an 11-year-old kid, like I wouldn't think too much about the monetary piece of it. Just pick up what you like, bro, and make sure that above all he has fun with it, and that y'all both have fun with it, because it's something that both of y'all get to do. So that's my advice. Oh, what's up, Ziggy? Yeah, man, no worries, man. Just throwing that out there if you wanted to jump on. Always welcome. So I hear retail a lot. So if you don't buy retail, since it sucks, where do you buy the others? So it's either retail or hobby boxes. So there's retail boxes and hobby boxes. Picking up a retail box is stuff that you can get like at the Walmarts, the big box stores, the drug stores, and things like that. That's the kind of stuff you see there. And typically in those boxes, you're not going to really hit anything spectacular. Occasionally there'll be a release of product where you can potentially hit, something like a low numbered card or a very rare shortly printed parallel, stuff like that. The hobby boxes are going to be at your local card shop. So your LCSs in town. I mean, you just Google and find out where your local card shops are, and then call them up and see if they carry any of what you're looking for. And when you go there, you can buy, some places will sell you packs out of a hobby box. Those are a little more expensive, or they'll sell you a hobby box altogether, which are, a couple $100, I think, point of entry. On those are pretty high dollar. So again, it's up to you what you're looking for, but, to have some fun, man, if you had $200 and you were looking to get into it, I'd suggest go down to a hobby store, and see if you can pick up a hobby box, and kind of have fun ripping that. No, you didn't outbid me. Kenny, I bought all my Jalen Greens like a year ago, or like 2 years ago. I bought Jalen Greens when he was in his slump, and people were giving those things away. Everybody swore to God that kid was going to be a bust, and I'm like, man, you guys are idiots. I was buying them for dirt cheap. Matter of fact, let me see. I think I got one right here. Oh shit! What did I do? This is Jalen Green. Paid a couple bucks for it, believe it or not. And this is just a fast break variation. It's not numbered or anything, but they gave me that one for pennies on the dollar, man. The thing about Jalen Green, man, is that they're talking about trading him, Kenny. Even though Udoka has already said that he's part of that foundation that he doesn't want to break up, which is Sengun Green and Amen Thompson. So yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, I think his stock would go up if he were to get traded. Me personally, he'd be in a much better system. I think Sengun is kind of what's throwing a wrench in his plans, because I think Sengun is developing as a center much faster than Green is developing as a point guard, and really he doesn't need to be. I mean, we got Amen's going to take some minutes from him, so it'd be interesting to see kind of what pans out with Jalen Green. But it's all back and forth, right? I mean, at the end of the day, our general manager went to the Daryl Morey school of wheeling and dealing players, so there's no telling who's on the chopping block. But oh yeah, look at here, we just got an offer. Oh, come on, man. Let's do that. But yeah, Jay, man, hope you have fun, dude. That's ultimately the biggest thing, is just having some fun, especially with your kid. You get to open some cool stuff, and I'd encourage you to record it and save it somewhere. Just so you can kind of. That's what I do with my kids. With my son, my first ever box opening video that I recorded was me and him opening up a box of 1990 NBA hoops, and he pulled a Michael Jordan, which I got right now at PSA. I mean, I wonder if PSA's. I got right now at PSA getting graded, believe it or not. I sent it to SGC to get graded, and it got a 9.5, which probably means that it's gonna be a 9 when I get it from PSA. So yeah, that's a special card. Online submission center orders. Let me see where my order's at. Damn it, it's still in grading. Is PSA running behind? Anybody know? I think PSA might be running behind. 19, and that's a 89 Michael Jordan All-Star. I got a video of my son pulling a 1989 hoops Jordan All-Star. So yeah. Thanks for the great advice. I don't know how much I will put into it, but I want him to have fun, man. If you're, I'd suggest go down to Walmart, man. Go down to Walmart or go down to Target, and poke around, see what they got, and pick up a couple. There's nothing wrong. Like, pick up a couple of hanger packs. Hanger packs, they're like $10-12. If you want to step up from there, pick up a blaster box, which are the smaller. Let's see if I have one here. I don't think I have one. I just ripped open some hoops and stuff, so I don't think I have one. But pick up a hoop, pick up a blaster box, and then if you really want to go for it, the blaster boxes are like $30. And then if you want to really go for it, pick up a mega box if they have them. And then just yeah, have a blast, man. Have a blast. Oh no, don't do that, Kenny. Don't do that. Don't wish that on him, man. Don't wish that on him. That's horrible. That is a rabbit hole and a half, my brother. Do not do that. Especially if you have a PC and like there's I was on there the other day and somebody was selling like a whole lot of Houston Rockets, and I was like, fuck. It's like, I know I'm gonna overpay for this shit. I know I'm gonna pay for this. I'm gonna overpay for this, but 2019, 20 Kobe Bryant hoops. Let me get these last few listed. Y'all heard about Beckett going out of business? Fucking Beckett's going out of business. Everybody's hitting the walls like y'all didn't know. Like y'all didn't know that they were going out of business. I wonder who's gonna buy them up. That's the real question. The real question is who's gonna buy Beckett? Because dang, these cards are going. All right, let me ask y'all a question. Kenny, you on here? There's a couple of you on here. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. I want y'all to see something. Y'all tell me what y'all would. Y'all tell me what y'all would do. All right. I got this Kobe Bryant. This Kobe Bryant. This is the card. I got two of them. Okay. And I'm looking at recently sold. Obviously, this one doesn't count, but it's $1.50, 99 cents, $2.99. So basically $3, $2.75, $7, $5, $10. And these are all recent. December, November 29th, November 29th, November 28th, November 23rd. Here's $3. Here's $1.50. Here's $4. PSA 9 sold for $4, which is crazy because a raw sold for $5, $10. I mean, what do you list these for? I was gonna throw them up for $1, but shit, now I'm looking at this. It might be $2. $2 might be the move on these. And these are nice too, man. Nice corners, nice sharp corners. I don't know. $4.99, huh? And just take an offer, huh? That might be the move too. I like that. I think you might be right, Jay. I think you might be right. Put them up for $4.99 and just see what hits the wall as far as you know. Bobo, that'd be hilarious, bro. I like that guy. He talking about Chris Sewell. Sports card. What does he say? Sports card collector? No, collector, investor, dealer. No, dealer, collector, investor, something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw this up there for a couple bucks. Let's see what's popping. Yeah, I'd be interested, man. It'd be interesting to see. I think, man, if I was CSG, I would definitely be making a move for Beckett. I'd be on the phone with Beckett. Because it's a investment firm that owns Beckett. It's not, and the guy that's going to jail for fraud is the owner of the umbrella corporation that owns Beckett. And so word is that he took out, I think, like a loan for shit. I don't know how many millions of dollars. What's up, Mike? What's happening, baby? Bobo's in the house too. What's going on, guys? That owner of the umbrella corporation took out a big loan against Beckett in the name of Beckett, and like basically just went on a shopping spree with that money, and then just kind of let the company go to shit. Which is, if you guys are familiar with that sequence of events, that's the same thing that they did with Toys R Us. They did the same thing with Toys R Us. The company that bought Toys R Us, the investment firm or the holding company that bought Toys R Us, went through and made a bunch of loans, and because Toys R Us was in great financial shape. They didn't owe no money. They were obviously making money hand over fist, and they bought, the company that bought them out just kept taking out loans and loans and loans and loans against the assets that were owned by the company, ultimately to a point to where they didn't pivot into e-commerce. And when they started using Amazon to do their fulfillment, it was kind of the nail in the coffin. And then the company just started going bankrupt, and then they couldn't pay the loans, and then the company just went bankrupt. And so like, it's kind of crazy to see the same thing happening to Beckett, which is nuts. So Mason Jones auto. Does anybody know if Mason Jones is even playing basketball anymore? I know we drafted the guy, but I don't even think he's playing basketball anymore. Let me see. This is another thing I like to do whenever I'm looking at some of these old cards. American basketball player. Who does he play for? Oh, he's on the Kings. Okay. What are his stats looking like? Oh, man. Dude averages nothing. He's a bench rider. Jesus, man. He gets no playing time. Averaging 4 to 5 minutes a game. So he's a yeah. All right. It might not even be worth putting this up for sale. Might not even be worth putting these things up for sale. What's up, Lon? Yeah, man. We out here, bro. Just kind of hanging around. Let's see. All right, let's see if these cards even sell. Mason Jones auto. Oh, okay. They go for a few dollars. Specifically an Excalibur. Man, I'm surprised that they sell cards for a guy like this, man. He's averaging like 2 minutes, 3 minutes a game. He don't get no playing time. Is this recent? Yeah, this is recent, man. Look at this. $3, $7. I mean, obviously I picked him up because he was a rocket, but still, it's like, what are we doing here, man? Okay, well, shit, it goes for a couple dollars. I'll put it up for sale. Mr. Hires, what's happening, man? No. I still keep in touch with JD. JD became a personal friend of mine. Throughout the time that we were doing Card Hedge and stuff like that. I actually broke away from Card Hedge. I don't think I've done a video on that actually, but I guess I'll talk about it here. So so we were kind of up for renewal on the contract, and just kind of decided that the direction they were going was a little bit different than what I was trying to sign up for and what I was trying to get out of the deal. So yeah, I just decided that, like, hey man, like, it's been great. I think both parties had got what we wanted initially out of the deal, and so we just kind of decided they went off to go do their own thing, and I went off to go do mine. So yeah, I bought back my shares in the company, and got a little bit of little compensation on the way out. And yeah, man, but those guys are still killing it over there. I still use the service for market analysis and stuff like that. Obviously when I'm on eBay it's a little different, but it is what it is, man. This is it's kind of the way things go. But yeah, I know it still says sponsored by Card Hedge. I gotta fix all that stuff. But then I kind of took a little bit of a hiatus from making videos, and then I started helping a buddy of mine where we started our other YouTube channel about the Houston Texans, which is called Bull Run Sports. If you guys want to check that out. We're on vacation this week because it's a bye, but I spent some time helping them do that, and then I wanted to start kind of cooking things back up on this side of the table. because I want to help my brother out with with Collect 3D and all the display cases and stuff that we make. And so yeah, that's kind of how it's been going down the last couple of months. But yeah, here we are, man, hanging out and having fun. I don't know why it says Charles Barkley on there, but and then again, obviously, I wanted to start up doing some eBay sales and kind of kicking things off again. Mr. Hires, I don't know. I might have seen your most recent message. Let me check. I know we were talking about you had a nice little list of or kind of pack of graded cards that you wanted to sell, which I was interested in. So hopefully you got me some prices. Yeah, I answered your last one, Jason. So take a look at that one. Let me know. I just need some prices, brother. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you're asking for them, and we can figure out what you want to get. I want to find out your brother still did 3D printers. And if you ever gotten the slab set, yeah, of course. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. At Collect 3D. That takes me there. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's what. So, but yeah, Jason, let me know if you got some stuff you want to sell, brother. Especially if you got a nice little lot of things that you want to move, I'll be happy to take a look at it and make you an offer. Yeah. So I mean, still thinking about trying to do something. We did the show for obviously the namesake of the show being the Card Hedge podcast. We did it for for Card Hedge as a promotional tool, but we were going to do that anyway, Card Hedge or not. And I think we're going to try to figure something out. But yeah, I'm always chatting with all those guys over at Card Hedge. So it's just not about business anymore. Those are great guys, man. Lou and River, and obviously JD, my guy JD. So you'll be seeing some stuff again once we kick things. Man, so I did this year. Obviously, I did this year. I did 18-19 and I did 17-18. 18-19, that box I got sitting over here somewhere. I might have thrown it away. But I did a video on it and I posted it and I got kicked in the teeth, man. That was I did not do well on that. But yeah, I mean that was so far so good. But the good thing is that prices of wax like that are starting to come down. Boxes that used to be like in the 700 800s are now kind of starting to come back down to the 300 or 400 range, which is good for me, because then that means that at some point they'll be up in the $200-$300 range, and I can pick up a box and continue making my way through the old stuff, all the while always trying to rip the latest year, right? Actually, now I'm thinking about it, man, I don't think I ripped a hobby box for this year. Mike, I did, man, and they were actually they were actually half decent, believe it or not. They were actually pretty decent. I love Hoops Premium, man. The first year that they did it in 2019 and 1920 with the Zion craze, I really enjoyed that So much so that I think I went and got a hybrid hobby box and all kinds of stuff. And so this year I was at Walmart and I picked up a few boxes they had there. I want to order a couple mega boxes, honestly. That might be the next thing I'm gonna do. But now that I'm thinking about it, man, I never opened up a hobby box of. Let me see what they're going for. 2023, 24 hoops hobby basketball. No, man, sealed. Hoops. Oh, hoops, not hops. Helps if you can spell. 23, 24 Panini hobby basketball box sealed. I'm trying to see what those are going for, man, because okay, here we go. Why is it showing me boxes of Prism? Yeah, I don't care about Prism. Here we go. Oh, that's not bad. $2.99. $2.99 for a hobby box. You get one autograph. You know what I want to do? I kind of want to go. When's the next Dallas card show? No, they don't, Michael. But 1920 had what they called a hybrid hobby box, which is an H2 box. That had like a lot of the shimmer stuff. Which is pretty good. So, Jesus, are you for real? Juan Soto. He didn't really turn down. Juan Soto signing with the Mets on a gargantuan $765 million contract as the Yankees miss out. The Yankees offered Soto a $760 million contract, and the Mets came over the top by $5 million. Sheesh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Boy, that's an arena of money that's what, $40 million a year? 16 year, $760 million contract. $47.5 million a season. Jeez Louise, man. That's what they say, man. But I mean, shit. It's $45 million a year. I'd imagine his jersey sales are going to do well more than that. Ticket sales are going to do well more than that. You know, TV deals and all kinds of stuff, man. That's, more power to him, man. Money's getting ridiculous. Money's starting to like not matter. Like once you get into that stratosphere, dude, like money doesn't matter. Like it's like, what are we doing here? You know? What are we doing here? $760 million. Good God almighty. Put your kids in baseball, folks. Put your kids in baseball. Because that is a monster payday. Incredible. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see. Where is the thing? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Juan Soto. Here it is. ESPN. Yeah, it's all right. It's on ESPN. So you know it's real. Let me see. I'm gonna hit up my boy and be like, man, y'all let the Mets outbid y'all. $760 million. Let's see what you talking about, Jay Bird. In a few days, 2024 football hobby. What's coming out? I don't even know what the let me see. Dum. Product release schedule. Let's see what's going on there. Here is the product release schedule from Steel City Collectibles. What's tomorrow? The 10th. 10th, we got Panini Black football. 2024 Onyx Topps Chrome Update Series Baseball Sapphire Edition Hobby Boxes. And then on Tuesday, Upper Deck. Then we got Panini Black Hobby. Panini Black Football Hobby Boxes, Cases, Upper Deck Marvel, Topps Definitive, Panini Prism Draft Picks Collegiate Football. And then Panini Prism Baseball, Panini 1-in-1 Basketball Hobby. So this is going to be interesting right here. This one of 1-in-1, first off the line, and then December 25th, Leaf, a Bronx Legacy Baseball Series, National Treasure. Oh, Wrestling National Treasure. That might be interesting. Not too bad. That's why we can't go to the games. Oh, dude, it's insane. Dude, hold on. Speaking of games, bro. I want my kids to go watch Moana 2. And it's me and my wife and 3 kids. I spent just shy of $200 to take my kids to a freaking movie. Now, mind you, it was Friday night. So the tickets weren't, we typically like to go to matinees where tickets are like $6 a pop. But dude, seriously, for a movie, $200? $200? God almighty, man. I don't know how anybody's supposed to do that. I don't know how you're supposed to do that on a regular basis. But you're right, man. Luckily, I work in a corporate place where, tickets like that are flying around. So, yeah, unless we get, unless we get tickets like that, I typically try to stay away. I mean, even if you get tickets, even if you get tickets to the game, you're still going to drop on a family of 5. You're still going to drop $150 on food. Just food, really. I mean, shit. Hot dog and a soda run you $25. It's insane, man. Stuff's getting crazier and crazier. But we'll see. Somebody mentioned to me the other day that there was some comments going on about me on a Dan the Card Man video. And apparently what has happened is that Kurt's Card Care had to reveal what was in his products to an extent in order to get them onto Amazon. So you had to fill out some sort of MSDS, material safety data sheet. That's what we used to call it back in the oil field. So because of that, he had to kind of like expose what was in his stuff. And a lot of what came to the light, oh yeah, he's concussed, buddy. He hit his head. I'm watching the Chiefs Chargers game. He had to reveal essentially the recipe of what was in there. And a lot of it was pretty, I don't want to say self-explanatory, but if you're familiar with like detailing cars, you know, if you look at the ingredients on the spray, I think that's what he had to divulge information for. It's basically alcohol, uh, water, and alcohol, and I think like denatured ethanol. Um, which is crazy to me because Dan has been on this. He's been on a sort of a witch hunt for Kurt about the idea of like, oh man, like you know the stuff that you're selling is bad, and you shouldn't be selling it. People shouldn't be using it, and if you're using it, you shouldn't be using it on cards that you plan on sending off to get graded. It's like, well, what do you think people use it for? People use it to prep their cards. They use it to clean their cards. I've been pretty vocal about the fact that there's aspects of what he's doing that I'm cool with, and then there's aspects of it that he, you know, services that he offers and techniques that he uses, and I'm kind of like, oh man, that's all right. That's kind of borderline, bro. That's you know, like for example, like I've always said that, hey, you know, if you take the spray and you know, if you have a chrome card, you know, for example, if you have a chrome card and you hit it with the spray, you know, these chrome cards aren't porous. If you hit it with the spray and, you know, use the spray to wipe it down, I've never really had an issue with that. I don't see the long-term effects of something like that. And so to Dan's point, one of the things he says is, well, we don't know what the long-term effects are of using those chemicals on a card, which he's right. But the other piece of that is that people have been doing this for years. Like before Kurt's Card Care came around, there was people that were using literally Windex and turtle wax, what you would use to wax your car, to clean and buff and wipe down cards. They've been doing it for ages. Like this isn't Kurt's Card Care isn't something new that just came out, right? He's essentially taking car products, toning them down, rebranding them, and then selling them. It's what guys have been doing for longer than I've been in the hobby. And so I think if there were some long-term ill effects of doing this to cards, we would have seen a lot of that already, because you know it's not uncommon for that kind of stuff to be. And so I think it's nuts, man, that he I don't know, not nuts, but like I just like I don't understand like you know, the witch hunt. Now one of the things I will say, and I've said this to Kurt myself, I'm like, bro, I'm like the whole card soaking thing, like that's wild, bro. Like, you know, and the thing about it is that he does card soaking with like old cards that are made out of like old paper cards. Like to me, that's kind of wild. Like in order to get creases out and stuff like that, like I don't know enough about paper and cardboard to understand like the implications of soaking something like that and then, you know, forming it again. If you're familiar with how paper is made, it makes sense that a process like that would work on a cardboard card. The only thing I don't know is what the implications of it are on ink, because when they make paper, essentially they just turn wood into shreds and then form it and make paper. And so, you know, to me that doesn't, like the to get out the wrinkles, it kind of makes sense, but like, man, what does that do to the ink? What does that do to, like, I don't know. I've always thought when I saw that he was first doing that, I was like, whew, man, that's all right. That to me, that's a bit much, like the you know, doing that. But it's an interesting situation when I don't know. Again, it's the witch hunt that I don't understand, right? Against Kurt's Card Care, it's like, you know, why are you going after this now? There's people that have been doing this for ages with more with even worse chemicals and more like intense chemicals, way before you and I were collecting. I'd imagine he seems to be a little bit younger than me, Dan the Card Man. So yeah, so he in his video he mentioned that I had been one of the people that interviewed him, And then in his comments, he said that I was like a shill for him, which is like, come on, man. Like, I don't shill for anybody. Shill, I think people throw the term shill around very, very loosely. And people really need to understand what that term means. The term means that I am in on the scam, and that I am the enthusiastic buyer in a crowd of a snake oil salesman, where I go, yeah, I've used that before and it works great. You should buy it too. It's like I've never been that guy. I've been a person that uses it. Look, and this is no bullshit, guys. Like I've it's fucking right here. Like you know what I mean? Like I'll use the spray to wipe down a chrome card, to buff it out. And if I see like some little scratches or something on a chrome card, I'll use the wax to kind of try to buff out a little surface scratches and stuff like that. Like, I use this shit, and it's the only reason why I reached out to Kurt. And listen, Kurt doesn't do interviews. If you guys don't know this, Kurt doesn't do interviews. He's very selective about the people that he interviews. And one of the reasons why he granted me an interview was because he kind of felt like I was going to at least be open-minded and give him a fair shake, which is what I've always been about on this channel, is just being open-minded and, trying not to be so rigid and closed-minded like much of the old guard in the hobby is. It's one of the big things that me and JD always, are on the same page about, is like just accepting like there's new, technology out there, and that there's new methods and things like that, all within reason. But I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I don't understand. Again, I don't understand the witch hunt when this is something that's been going on for decades. Guys have been cleaning cards for decades. Guys have been cleaning comic books for decades. They've been cleaning things for decades. And none of the whole purpose of cleaning is to submit and get a better grade. Nobody's and the only reason why PSA put that shit in their T's and C's was to quiet people down from saying anything about that. Like, they don't care. Like, PSA does not give. You think PSA gives a fuck about what you're doing to your cards? They don't care. Give them their grading service fees and go about your business. They don't care. That Wembenyama 1 of 1 that got graded at PSA was literally cleaned with Card Care products at PSA right before it was graded in front of PSA people. They don't give a shit about any of that. I know that for a fact. Why do you think the guy was so brazen and willing to shout out Kurt's Card Care in PSA facilities? You think he did that just to be funny? He did that because he knew he was under the impression that everything was cool and that it was good, because he literally cleaned the card in front of them right there at PSA. So it's just like, it's so stupid, man. Like, I get it, man. If you're against it, that's cool, but be against all of it. And be against the people that have been doing it for ages with Windex and fucking Carnauba wax. Like, and don't try to shit on me because I brought the guy on my channel to talk about it. It's like, it's stupid, man. I don't get it. Nah, I'm with you, Mike. Trimming is something different. I've never been a proponent of that. I'm even against the card soaking thing, to be honest with you. I think that's kind of blurring the lines between, really altering a card. Like, you're really altering it because you're soaking it. And like I said, I understand what the implications are on the cardboard, but not on the ink. Like, we don't know what the deal is on the ink. And I've been very vocal about that. Like, people get really short-term amnesia when it benefits them to say something in a video to be kind of cool, and trying to, I just don't get it, man. But anyway, I got a bunch of messages, man. Again, my boy JD hit me up. He's like, "Hey, man, they're talking about you," and I'm like, "What?" Like, I haven't made a video in like 6 months. Like, why are they still talking? But Sports Card Radio said something stupid about me too. Called me a dork and shit. It's like, really? Call me a fucking dork, dude? You're the one that looks like a fucking door-to-door salesman, and I'm the dork. It's like really? Like, I've never said a thing about that guy, and he's always running his mouth about me. He's always got something to say about me. When I had on Ty from Chasing Cardboard, like, he was saying some stupid shit on one of his live streams. It's like, bro, you don't know me. Like, what makes you think you could, like? I could tell he does that pretty habitually, just running his mouth about people that he doesn't know, and probably never really faced any real consequences over it. But it's just like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? You know, like, you don't like it, cool, man. Make a couple of videos about it and let's keep it moving. But again, I mean, we're you know, I can't remember where I heard this quote, but somebody said, I stopped believing the news when it started being on for 24 hours. Like, people need something to talk about, I guess. And, you know, unfortunately, Kurt's Card Care became the guy, but shit, you guys are just giving them free fucking advertising. I don't understand what, you know, what the deal is, but yeah, I mean, PSA doesn't care, guys. You know what I mean? Like, PSA doesn't give a shit. They don't, I don't know. I just, I don't know, Mike. Again, bro, I enjoy watching his videos. His videos are funny, you know, and he's, you know, going at people and stuff like that. He's got a you know, kind of a dry sense of humor. I've always liked his content, but it's like, Jesus, man, you know, like, pick your targets, bro. Like, there's people out there that really enjoy watching your shit, and then you're just gonna go talk shit about them. It's like, what the fuck, man? I digress. You guys got me all razzle dazzled. But anywho, shout out to Dan the Man. I really like him. I've always liked his channel and stuff, and he always has a very interesting point of view on things. I brought him on. One of the things he reminds me a lot of is because I was in oil and gas, and in oil and gas, there's a lot of audits, a lot of internal audits, external audits from, you know, different alphabet agencies and stuff like that. And I always liked those people because they were like really no nonsense, like no bullshit type people, very by the book, very like, hey man, if you're not doing things by the book, I'm gonna tax you. You know, you're gonna get a shot for it. And so he was very. I perceived him as that type of a person, like very much, you know, like a no nonsense, straight by the book, right down the middle type of person. So I've always enjoyed his content, but again, that one kind of just, I was like, come on, dude, really? You're gonna call me a fucking shill just because I use something that you disagree with? It's like, come on, man. Like you're like, I kind of feel like Dan the Man's better than that. And I feel like, you know, I feel like he just kind of went a little left on that, but anyway, anywho. Oh, Brendan, I love that show. It's a great show. I love anything Taylor Sheridan has been doing lately. I realized who that guy was, and I started going down the rabbit hole of all his stuff that he produces. Whoo, buddy. But yeah, Landman's great. A little exaggerated in terms of like the hazards and things like that. You know, he obviously makes it seem like wild west out there, which is kind of what they're going for, right? It's like an exaggerated version of oil and gas. But rest assured, he's not far off. He's not far off on most of what's going on that show. But yeah, it's a good show, man. Billy Bob Thornton's the best. Anybody that can have Angelina Jolie googly-eyed after a limousine ride is all right with me, you know. 37-yard field goal attempt for the lead. Here we go. Oh, right down the middle. Nice. But yeah, somebody mentioned my Rockets. Let me see. I want to go back to that one. Somebody mentioned my Rockets, and they're like, hey, speaking of your Rockets, man, they're off to a good start. You goddamn right they are. You goddamn right they are. Sorry, I kind of got a little distracted there. I went on my little rant there. Let me see. So what does it do, or why is it an advantage? Jay, I'm assuming you're talking about the card care products. This guy Kurt makes a product called Kurt's Card Care. It's basically like denatured alcohol, denatured ethanol in a spray, and they use it to wipe down the cards and clean them off. Essentially, what it does. And then he also sells sort of like this wax, like almost like a car wax, but it's like a toned down. It's not as abrasive. It's not as abrasive as car wax, and you can use that on chrome cards to kind of buff and clean off and buff out very light surface scratches to enhance the condition of your cards. sort of restoring your cards back to a better condition of themselves. And so it's caught a bit of controversy because some purists are like, hey, don't touch the card, leave it alone. And others are like, hey man, you're doing something that's unethical. Some people take an unethical approach to it, and some people are just like, hey dude, it's a freaking baseball card, man. It's not the Mona Lisa, you know what I mean? So but yeah, that's what it is. Somebody said something about my Rockets and I missed it, and I apologize for that. Yeah, it was Mike. All right. So my T-Wolves are running, stumbling around after the cat trade. Dude, the T-Wolves did themselves a huge disservice, man, with that trade. I never liked that trade from the beginning. But yeah, my Rockets, somebody said something interesting the other day. I was watching something on YouTube where they said the Rockets have they have a 7-man starting 5. Which I was like, that's about right. Between Tari Eason and Amin Thompson coming off the bench, man, these guys have just been cooking, bro, cooking. And of course, my boy Şengün has been doing his thing. His stock continues to rise. I think he's going to be an all-star this year if he continues on the trajectory that he's on. And of course, if you've been watching the channel and you listened to me 3 years ago, you picked up some Şengün rookie cards, and you're doing pretty well. I was buying his silvers for like $9, 12 or 13. Believe it or not, Şengün's cards came out the gates not cheap. His base silvers were going for like $25, $30. Like out the gates, they were going for like $25, $30. But while everybody was chasing, I mean, obviously I picked up some silvers and stuff. I have some PSA 10 silvers. But while everybody was picking those up, I was targeting like the rated rookies, the Donruss rated rookies in low numbers, the Donruss, the Optic rated rookies in the low numbers, and then the selects. The funny thing about Şengün is for his rookie year in select, he only had a concourse. He wasn't on the checklist for the premium or the court side. So it's only concourse, but you could still get low numbered concourse stuff. And then I just was really targeting like a lot of the low numbered like obsidians. I have some like really low numbered obsidians, and stuff like that. So it ended up being pretty good, but my goal is still to, and I'm probably going to wait till like right around, if they announce him as an all-star, that's probably where I'm going to sell a lot of my Şengün, in an effort to go after a flawless RPA, which is the only RPA that actually is a on-card, or sorry, game used patch. Let's see, Şengün flawless RPA. That is my grail card that I would like to have. Jesus, those numbers went up. Goodness. Oh, that hurts. That hurts to see those prices. Fuck, I should have bought one when I had the chance. God damn it. Yeah, they're wanting $6,000 for them now. No, that's National Treasure. No, I want flawless. I have to have a flawless. Oh, Patrick doing some magic out there. Jesus. I'm still up in there about the trade. Cat's making $60 million next 2 years, so they would have to do something. Yeah, I think there's a team option on that deal, Michael. Just like a lot of people were really upset about the Fred VanVleet trade. They're saying that we were paying him too much money. Which the contract structured, but the first $40 million goes into effect this year, but the next year we have a team option, so we don't have to pick up that option. And we're in a fantastic place. I would imagine that if Fred VanVleet is smart, he's going to renegotiate to extend that contract and give a more team friendly contract with a lot more time on it. And then of course the what was that? I'm trying to think of the other contract that we just gave. Oh, obviously the big contract to Şengün, and then the big contract to Jalen Green. So that's gonna get really interesting. But we should be all right. You might be right, Mike. Let me see. Carl Anthony Towns contract. Oh, you're right. You're absolutely correct. It is not a team option. A base salary, cap carry 49, a deep cap value of 49. Yeah, he's 49 mil a year. You're right. 220 guaranteed. 220. Yeah, it's all guaranteed. 4-year contract. 49 million. Yeah. Wow. There is not a team option for that. That sucks. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a night, folks. I'm gonna try to do this every Sunday. Jump on for an hour, for an hour, and then I'll put out a couple videos here and there. I'm probably gonna chop up a few of these and put them out throughout the week in little snippets. But if you're in here hanging out, I appreciate you guys as always. Check out the link in the description for the eBay store. I think am I up to 100? I think I might be up to 300 listings now, which is, if I am, I'll be a very happy boy. Where am I at? 298. Come on, man. I can get 2 more up. Let's get 2 more up before I close it down. I'm going to get 2 more up before I call it for the night. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out and kicking it. Jason, in the next month, I'll grade more cards this time. Will be basketball cards, a few 90s, some new basketball. So do you have a favorite basketball player in the 90s? Yes, I do, actually. He's right there. His name is Hakeem Olajuwon. But yeah, Jason, let me know what you got, what you want to sell for, man. I'd be happy to work out a deal with you. But yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging in there and hanging out. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.